Hello, and welcome to Sirens Bay Resort and Spa, or as we're slightly better known, the Jewel of St. Linus. How can I help you this evening? Just checking in. Perfect. Wonderful. And what is your reservation under? What name? Okay. Give me just a second. Found you right away. I think that might be because you, at least that's what my computer is telling me, are a VIP. This is very good to see. We only welcome a few VIPs on the island per year, so you are a very, very special guest. Now, of course, you'll be staying in our luxury suite, which has 3 bedrooms and an incredible view of the beach. But I get the sense that this might be your first time on St. Linus, is that correct? Wonderful. In that case, do you mind if I give you a little bit of an introduction to our little slice of paradise that we call home? Wonderful. Well, St. Linus, as you know, is an archipelago. It is made up of 15 islands, and the island which you are currently on is called Renus. It's the largest in the archipelago, and it is also one of the most generously vegetated. So we've got tons of gorgeous scenery, we have nature walks, we have abundance of wildlife. It's truly, a little slice of heaven. And I think you're going to really, really enjoy your stay here. In fact, I shouldn't even say that I think, because I know. I've seen so many people come and go, and, you come to Sirens Bay, perhaps you're feeling a little bit burnt out because of work, or perhaps you're feeling a little bit stressed. I see these people come and go every day, and the transformation process that St. Linus, but more specifically Sirens Bay, is able to offer is really incredible. You will leave here a happier, more relaxed, and more fulfilled person than the one you arrive as today. These may sound like rather bold and perhaps unfounded claims, but, I told you I've seen it happen 100 times, hundreds of times. And I am prepared to see it happen thousands more. Now, you might be wondering a little bit about Sirens Bay, what we offer, but also what we are. We are the only resort and spa on Renus, and one of very, very few luxury resorts in St. Linus. We really have the ideal real estate in terms of, the islands of the archipelago, but we've taken that to be more of a challenge than a luxury. We see it as our opportunity to be the very best at what we do, and we strive to fulfill that every single day. Now, the name is a little bit, some people have called it curious, some people have called it unnerving. Sirens, after all, have a long and storied history of perhaps not being the most friendly towards visitors and sailors on the open sea, but I assure you there is a perfectly mundane and downright quaint reason why Sirens Bay is called what it is, and it's named after, perhaps appropriately, Sirens Bay, which is part of the land that our resort is built upon. Now, the actual bay, called Sirens Bay, got its name from the early explorers who landed on St. Linus. They were amazed at the population, and it's an incredible population, of songbirds and parrots that call the cliffs of Sirens Bay home. And they were so overwhelmed by the song, they found it so enchanting, so alluring, that they named the spot immediately Sirens Bay after, of course, the sirens of sailors' folklore. So, there's no rocky cliffs to, shatter a boat, and no sirens to drown any sailors. It's just songbirds, birds of paradise, and parrots. Just a little fun fact that we like to share with our visitors to kind of put them at ease. Sirens Bay sounds a little bit more menacing than perhaps it needs to, but there's a lot of really rich history in this area, and we thought it appropriate to name our resort Sirens Bay, not just to honor it, but also to, give a little bit of that mystery to the resort, and give a little bit of that temptation to visit a spot that, upon first blush, maybe you shouldn't be going here at all. All a part of our wonderful marketing team's, business ploy, but I digress. I have talked your ear off about islands and history and parrots for far long enough. Why don't I give you a taste of a couple of the excursions and opportunities that we offer? I see here that, as a VIP, of course, you are all inclusive, so feel free to try as many or as few of the excursions, which, I'm going to detail to you a little bit. All at no cost, really. You've paid up front, and anything that the island has to offer is yours to take advantage of in an unlimited capacity. And I really encourage you to make use of that, okay? There are certain people who, when they find themselves as a guest, they are perhaps reticent or reluctant to make full use of the capabilities of an establishment. They think that, okay, I'll try a few nice things, I'll treat myself to this. Stop. If this sounds like you, please make full use of our facilities. We aren't here to treat you. We are here to serve you. That is our mentality, and it's a mentality that we carry in every single aspect, from the food to the spa to just in even the general upkeep and maintenance of our facilities. We are here to serve you. You are allowing us. You are doing us a favor by allowing us to serve you, okay? So don't think at any point that you're intruding. Don't think at any point that maybe you should take a break. You've done enough stuff for today. That's just when the party's getting started, at least from our perspective. Anyway, we have a multitude, a plethora even, of opportunities for you to take advantage of. We have cliff diving and rappelling with Raul, who is an extraordinarily experienced mountaineer, and I think he said that he scaled over 350 cliffs across, I believe it was 3 or 4 continents. He is one of the best at what he does, and he's also an incredible instructor. Not just an expert, but a teacher. And he's going to really, really help you learn how to relax. Take that dive off of a cliff and feel the adrenaline pump through. You'll learn to harness that energy inside of you that demands to be let out in that, great barbaric yawp, as he likes to call it. When you're standing at the top of a cliff and all you just want to do is yell out to the heavens. He's really incredible. And if you couldn't tell, I'm a rather big fan of his. Of course, cliff diving, that can sound a little bit intimidating. I assure you it is anything but. Our cliffs are not terribly high, only about 70 or 75 feet, and the ocean is incredibly deep, where you will be diving into, so there is no risk of landing on any rocks or anything like that. The area is surveyed on a monthly basis to ensure that, all aspects of the cliff diving and rappelling experience are incredibly safe, and we have well-trained experts at every step of the way, okay? Wonderful. I like to start off with that one because it really gives me a sense of what you're enthusiastic about. And I can see that this is something you would enjoy, which, it helps me tailor my recommendations. Some people, they balk at the idea. They're like, oh no, cliff diving, that's not for me. I came here for the massages. And if that's the case, then I can recommend them. I mean, we have incredible spa packages, and of course, all free of charge for you, with incredibly experienced masseuses who are able to offer a wide array of treatments. We've got salt scrubs, we have body wraps, we have massages of various styles, head massages, shoulder massages, Swedish massages, you name it. We have treatments, packages for that. We even have hot springs here because, another fun fact about Renus specifically is it is a volcanic island. Our volcano, Mount Charles, has been dormant for the better part of, 837 years, if I'm recalling correctly, and I usually do, so there's not really any worry in terms of any volcanic activity, earthquakes. The fault lines have long since moved on from our little paradise. We haven't had an earthquake in the better part of 250 years, so very stable environment, and all that's left of the volcanic activity of Mount Charles is the hot springs, which provide an excellent opportunity to unwind in one of nature's most enchanting experiences. It's really an incredible place to be, and a place to be present in. We don't often get time for ourselves in our day-to-day lives, just be present somewhere. A hot spring, with the sense, with the sensations, forces you to be in the moment and relax. And it's incredible. I highly recommend that. But anyway, you being of a more adventurous sort, perhaps you'll be down there once or twice, but, I get the sense that you're here for more than just the massages. We also have a swimming with the dolphins excursion, which, Diana is in charge of. A very, very lovely lady who is incredibly enthusiastic about marine biology and marine wildlife. You're going to really learn a lot from her, but perhaps more importantly, you're going to swim with dolphins, which is a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and it's exhilarating. It really is. It is a strange form of kinship that you find with this creature who you really haven't met. But there's an empathic link. There's a connection that occurs when you first start interacting with the dolphin. It's really incredible. It's almost indescribable. But I highly encourage you to check it out. Of course, these excursions happen multiple times a day, so if you want to truly, pack your stay here with us full to the brim, we fully encourage that. And again, we are here to serve you. If a small change needs to be made to scheduling, we're more than happy to do that. And in fact, I specifically am in charge of scheduling, so there's no worries of whether something needs to be delayed by a couple minutes or moved up a little bit earlier. You, being a VIP, are really setting the pace of your stay here, okay? Wonderful. Now, we also have parasailing, surfboarding, we have coral reef diving and snorkeling, all with, very experienced, and in the case of the scuba diving and snorkeling, registered and licensed professionals. So we maintain a very competent and highly qualified staff here. It's what we believe separates us from perhaps other resorts which focus more on appearances than the actual substance of a stay. Not to say that we skimp on appearances. Of course, we have hired and employed some of the best architects and some of the best designers in the world to fashion our rooms and suites and spa areas So there's certainly going to be no shortage of incredible views both outside and inside. But that's just to put the further emphasis on what we stand for here at Sirens Bay. Now, have you done any kind of surfing before? Snorkeling, anything like that? Okay. So it's been quite some time. Often when people, are first introduced to, surfing or scuba diving, it can be very intimidating. You're in a very new new environment, new surroundings, and you're not quite as comfortable as you're used to being. You're being asked to move your body and, breathe in certain ways that perhaps you aren't expecting. But I encourage you to go with the flow. I know it's a little bit of a tired phrase, perhaps, but in this case specifically, it is very well used, especially since, being in the location that we are, we really don't experience a whole lot of intense weather. Often the surf spots, snorkel spots, scuba spots that you're being introduced to, they're a little bit volatile. The waves can be a bit unpredictable, the weather can be a little bit testy on some days. In our case, that's not really the case. We have reliable weather patterns, reliable waves. Some days are a little bit better than others, but in general, we get fairly medium, about 4 to 7 foot waves out on one side of the island, and on the other side of the island, it's very sheltered by a lot of the other islands in the archipelago, and it is perfect for coral reef diving, snorkeling, very calm, relatively shallow waters. So really a beautiful environment for first time or near first time divers such as yourself. We always keep our guests' safety and comfort in mind at all points during your stay. So at no point during your excursion should you feel like you're being made to take more risks than you feel comfortable, because we specifically ask our trainers and instructors to play to your comfort zones. If you're finding it's a little bit more anxiety inducing than you expect to be breathing underwater, it can turn very easily from a snorkeling or from a scuba diving excursion into a manta ray excursion. Okay, and we have a great many tame species of wildlife, including manta rays, that love to interact with our guests, and it's a really beautiful, and again, I highly encourage you to experience it if you find that scuba diving is not to your taste, or even if you love scuba diving. I also encourage you to make use of our kind of marine wildlife interaction that we have here on the island. Of course, we have beautiful, beautiful white sand beaches, which are painstakingly maintained. And I mean painstakingly. We have crews on every night out on the beach, combing, ensuring that there's no waste, litter that is washed up from the ocean. This is a very rare occurrence, but you have to understand it is our duty to be as diligent as possible. So even though it's rare, on occasions, perhaps some guest accidentally loses something or misplaces a plastic bottle, our crew finds that within the hour. So you can rest assured that your white sand beaches will be unspoiled by any unsightly, or rogue pieces of litter. Of course, the waters here are very, very temperate right now, since we are just about nearing the peak of summer. They're at some of their warmest temperatures, so you can expect, I think the temperature the other day was about 86 degrees. You can expect, a little bit of fluctuation due to the weather patterns, but, 86 to, maybe the low 90s in terms of temperature. Very, very tropical and absolutely divine to swim, wade or just sit on the edge and put your feet in, okay? So we really encourage you to make full use of all of the aspects of our property, okay? One final thing that I want to mention to you before perhaps this check-in session gets just a little bit to the left of too long is our nature hikes. I mentioned, of course, that our island, or more specifically the resort, was named after Sirens Bay. You can do trips along the cliffs, hikes along the cliffs, or even up Mount Charles to see the wildlife in all of its incredible glory. The birds of paradise have just kind of landed and begun a lot of their mating rituals, so you will be able to experience not just the songs but also the sights. These birds are really, really well plumaged, if that can be a phrase. They're very colorful, they're very unique. Each one has kind of a different mating ritual dance. They're entertaining, they're performative, and if you're lucky, you'll be able to see not just one or two, but many, many different species of birds of paradise, as well as, of course, our parrots, who absolutely adore our trail guides and will often perch on their shoulders or on their arms to be, fed little berries or bird seed. They haven't quite learned any human phrases, but they're beginning to pick up on, ones like food and guest and hello. They're very intelligent birds, and they really enjoy, they're very fun-loving, so I think that you'll enjoy meeting them, and of course we will enjoy facilitating that meeting so that both you and the bird are very comfortable, okay? So don't worry about being exposed to birds that perhaps you're a little bit wary of. We will be there, or at least perhaps me not personally, but one of our trail guides will be there at all steps during the encounter. So a very safe and a very well managed experience. Of course, we have incredible food, dining. Our resident chef has 2 Michelin stars and is working towards his 3rd. I personally believe that the Michelin, oh my goodness, what's the word? Evaluator. Thank you. I appreciate it. The Michelin evaluator was already here, but I'm not entirely certain, so I keep that opinion generally to myself, or at least I don't let him hear, because, I want him to be performing at his best. And I'm also not really certain. Michelin evaluators, of course, are traditionally very, very mysterious, so until I'm absolutely certain, I am going to let our chef believe that he is consistently preparing food for the most critical of Michelin evaluators. I digress. One of our associates is going to take your bags, so you don't have to worry about hauling those back to your room. Suite, I should say. Rooms are for non-VIP, and when you're VIP, you get a suite. So you don't have to worry about moving your luggage. We, of course, will take care of that. And we are, of course, always open here at reception. That's literally 24 hours, 7 days a week. If at any point you feel the need to call us, if you forgot something, if you need something to make your stay more comfortable, room service, it can be run through us or directly by calling the kitchen, and they will be ecstatic to provide for you anything you can desire. Most anything, I should say, we either have here on the island or can get for you within a matter of hours, okay? So we are very well stocked and very well supplied. Now, without further ado, I have your key card here in a package that we're going to send along with you, along with just a couple of island souvenirs to help you, get more comfortable, become acquainted with the services and the various opportunities that we offer. So, you have a couple pamphlets in this package, and of course you have some of the necessities, as well as, and this is just for our very special guests, you must understand. Those like yourself. We have put in this package for you a bottle of some of our finest spring water. This is a spring which is, the location is not disclosed publicly. It is not well known to most of the staff, and only a very select few people have access to it. It has some of the most mineral and nutrition-rich waters, which are filtered many, many times to get some of the clearest, some of the cleanest, some of the most environmentally friendly, and some of the most delicious water you can ever experience, okay? I recommend that, you just, when you first take that sip, allow yourself to experience it. Don't just think I'm drinking water. Think I'm drinking something that very, very few people have had access to, okay? And as a special privilege, we'll also be sending you home with, at the end of your stay, which is a subject that we hardly like to think about, except in this instance, we'll be sending you home with a bottle of that water as well, okay? So you can break it out for special occasions, or if you find it so particularly delicious that you are simply unable to stop yourself, you can drink it on the plane ride home. Now, I believe that I've sufficiently talked your ear off, with all of the history, all the opportunities, but please understand that it is in the best interest of your experience here. We want you to be well educated. We want you to be knowledgeable of everything that we have to offer so that you can take full advantage of it, okay? Wonderful. Without further ado then, I will have one of our associates take your bags and they will escort you to your suite. Wonderful. Again, welcome to Sirens Bay, and we truly, truly hope you enjoy your stay. Good night, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.